Hey everybody, JC here with another TNI toy review. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new DC Comics Multiverse 6-inch Gotham City PD Jim Gordon Batman figure from Mattel. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style packaging we see with all the Multiverse figures. You've got the red and black box. Up at the top, you've got the DC Comic Multiverse logo. The figure's clearly displayed. Down below, we have some artwork for the character and the name. Off to the side, we have more artwork and a brief bio. And then on the back of the packaging, we have a look at all the figures in the wave that you need to get in order to complete the Collect and Connect King Shark figure. All right, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with the other contents. Now, first of all, let me just say a big thanks to the folks at Mattel for sending this figure out to me so I could review it for you guys. The figure comes with the right leg for the King Shark Collect and Connect. Now, we'll be taking a look at the King Shark figure in its own review once we've looked at all the figures in this wave. So be sure to check back for that. He comes with a taser-type weapon. I think it was a taser in the comic. And not a lot of detail on this. It's basically done with just gray plastic. But it loosely looks like the gun that he had in the comic book series. And then the figure does have a working holster for the gun. So you can stick it in there. You just slide it in and it fits nice and tight. And he can hold the weapon in either the left or the right hand. It doesn't really matter. Both hands are shaped to hold the weapon. And he holds it nice and tight. And then finally, we get two different head sculpts with this figure. We get the masked head. This is the one that's attached to the figure when you first take it out of the packaging. And overall, I don't think this looks too bad. He's got kind of a gritting teeth expression, good skin tone, the whited out eyes, and then the hard plastic pointy ears. Now, you'll notice the left ear is a little bit bent on this. You might need to take a hairdryer if yours is like that to straighten it out. It is a pretty hard plastic, but I think if you heat it up, you could straighten it out pretty easily. And then the second head sculpt is actually pretty cool. It's an unmasked head, and it's Jim Gordon's, with the mohawk and everything, how he appeared in that comic book storyline. And so I do like that they've given us this. We actually didn't get this. We didn't get an unmasked head with the DC collectible version of this figure. So if you already have that one, this might be an additional reason to want to pick up the Mattel version. And to switch it out, it just attaches with a ball joint, and then you just pop on the head, the extra head, and it should snap on there pretty easily. And I think the second head looks pretty good on the figure. I like the skin tone. The eyes come out looking good. He, again, has kind of that gritting teeth expression. And I like the mohawk with the brown hair and everything. So overall, I think they did a pretty good job with this. And then for the rest of the figure, I think they've done a pretty good job. It's not super detailed, but overall, it does capture the look of the character from the comic book. So he's got that bat symbol on his chest, that weird looking bat symbol, and that's just painted on there. And then he's also got this symbol on his shoulder, and again, that's just painted with yellow paint. The rest of the figure is basically done with just black. And then you've got the belt, which is a separate piece. It's done with that kind of rubber material. And you've got this little buckle and such, and the holster that I showed you before. And then you've got this strap on the right leg. And then the rest of the figure, again, is just done all black. And you've got some line work sculpted throughout the legs. So again, overall, not too bad looking, and pretty much does capture how this character looked in the comic book. And this figure stands, if you count to the tips of his ears, close to 6 3/4 inches tall. And here's a comparison with the 7-inch DC collectible version that I mentioned before. Now, I will say that overall, the DC collectible version is a little more detailed. You've got more sculpting detail with the line work throughout the figure here on the chest and everything. I also kind of like a little bit more how this bat symbol on his chest looks on the DC collectible version. But still, for the most part, I think Mattel has done a fair job of capturing the look of this character with their version. Here's a comparison with the Mattel Multiverse Joker figure that was released a while ago. And then finally, I just wanted to give you a comparison with the DC collectible version of the bat suit. This is the bat suit that you see the Jim Gordon Batman figure wear in the storyline. Now, Mattel will be doing their own version of this suit. It'll be the Collect and Connect figure in the next comic book series of Multiverse figures coming. But I just wanted to give you a comparison with the DC collectible version. For articulation, you can turn the head to the left and to the right, and he really doesn't have a whole lot of back and forth movement, a little bit, but not too much. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint there at the shoulder, so he can get his arm out good. And then you've got good rotation there at the shoulder. The joint is a little bit tight there, but you still get pretty good rotation. Also has a bicep swivel, and then also has a swivel at the elbow. So you don't really need it with the bicep swivel, but you do have it. And then he can bend his elbow about that much. And then you've got rotation at the wrist, but no hinges on the hands. Then he has the ab crunch joint, so he can crunch down about that much, and he can look back about that much. He's got the waist swivel. Then he's got those side hinge joints for the legs, so he can do the splits pretty good. Now, you do want to watch that holster, but you can still get him to do the splits pretty good. And then you can get the leg forward about that much, and he can do the leg back pretty good as well. He's got a thigh swivel, single hinge knee, so he can bend his knee about that much. And then he's got hinges on the feet, but no ankle pivot. And 2 peg holes on the bottom of it. And also just to notate, you do have some rotation there with the knee joint as well. But again, you don't really need it since you have the thigh swivel. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I think this is a pretty decent figure. It's not quite as detailed as the DC collectible version, but you do get that unmasked head with this figure, which I think is a nice addition. Now this figure, along with the rest of the wave, is starting to hit shelves now. We'll have a full image gallery up at toynewseye.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I'll have links to those in the video description as well. And until next time, I'll catch you later.